Hello and welcome to the next video of my Worlds 2022 preview series where we're going to cover JD Gaming, JDG, Jindong Gaming, however you want to, call them, however you want to call them, I guess. Number one seed from the LPL beat Top Esports, coming back, winning Game 5 a couple days ago, so they are the one seed. Now we know that who the third seed is in the LPL. We know who the 4th seed is in the LCK, so those videos are going to come out in the coming days as well as we kind of work through this series. I do have the playlist now. Sorry for touching this microphone. It was loose. But, yeah, so videos are coming out. We have a playlist now for Worlds 2022. At the end of the video, you will see it. You can click on it and go through all the videos if you'd like for the teams that are going to be at Worlds. Depending on when you're watching this, all might be there right now. I think this is day 6. Down below, you'll see 3 links. Twitter, follow me so I can spread my social media wings, I guess. Subscribe to the channel, obviously. There's memberships down there for $3. Just support me. That'd be really cool. I have a few people that are supporting me right now, and I really do appreciate it. At $10, that is the members only section where I have a few videos. I do extra content when it comes to that for predictions, predicting who's going to win the games. I'm also going to do some NFL, American football content there as well. So if you do esports gambling or sports gambling legally, it may be of value to you. Lastly, there's a link to the Discord. You can join that if you'd like to. That is free. We just BS about the games as they go on. It's a real active chat when games are going on, and it's interesting. There's a predictions channel as well. We keep track of predictions, and for Worlds, I will be doing something else a little special. So if you join the Discord, you will be able to participate in that also. Now, JD Gaming, JDG. Their coach is Home. I'm going to call him Home. Could call him Homie, I guess. 29-17 and 3 international appearances. 2017 with Team World Elite. He would go to MSI and Worlds, finishing 3rd and 4th in both tournaments. And then in 2020 would take JDG to Worlds, finishing 5th, 8th. So out in quarters. The last 3 years, the LPL 1 seed has been very successful. In 2019, FPX would win the championship as the 1 seed, and then last year, EDG also won the championship as the 1 seed. In 2020, Top Esports would finish in get knocked out in semis, finishing in the 3rd, 4th slot as the 1 seed. So history tells us that JDG is at least going to get out of groups at minimum. Right now, I have JDG 2nd in my power rankings. That may change next week or the week after, depending on, how, well, I guess the top teams are the top teams, right? We know who they are. Play-in teams won't affect that all that much. Neither will the LEC or LCS. So JDG are 2nd right now, and we'll see how that looks mid next week. Players, top lane, 369. His stats were startlingly low for the playoffs. 2.3 KDA, 7.5 CS per minute, 58.1 KP. That's really low. I did notice that this team, the bot side of the rift is what got the most attention, which did the most damage, and did the most damage outright, but also KP was higher and things like that. 369, 7.5 CS per minute is very low. You want that at around 8, and I know 369 is one of the best top laners in the world right now. He is performing very well, but his numbers do not back that up. 21.3 damage share, that's pretty standard for a top laner. 534 damage per minute, more damage in the LPL for sure. 6 champions in 13 games. I think Aatrox and Renekton were his most played. This is a little disappointing. I thought his numbers would be stronger. I do think that he's going to do fine throughout most of the tournament. Outside of Zeus, I mean, you got Flandre, you got, Wayward. Wayward's kind of all over the place, right? If they bring Qingtian, then Qingtian might play. 369 is going to be one of the better top laners in the tournament. I think she should be okay. 2020 Worlds, he was on the Top Esports team that would finish 3rd, 4th. He went 9-6 that tournament. 218 KDA, 833 CS per minute, 51.5 KP. More of a split push style a couple years back, kind of on an island by himself. 833 CS per minute, more than solid in that situation, between 8 and 8.5. That's actually very good. That means that even at international event, he was one of the top producers in the lane, and he's going to have to do that again. In the jungle, we have Kanavi, who I had as my personal MVP in the LPL. Definitely performing like one of the best, if not the best jungler in the world when it comes to trying to carry. Not a facilitator, really. 3.3 KDA, 5.4 CS per minute, 71.5 KP. So above 70 KP, which is good. We wanted around 70 and around 5.5 CS per minute. So against the elite of the elite, he was average, which is good. You know, because you're against like really good players, right? The fact of the matter is, Kanavi can be taken advantage of. He does get kind of freaky with his picks, and that can backfire. He had 16.2 damage share, which is much higher than we normally see. We've been seeing a lot of 12s and 13s. Kanavi up around 16 damage per minute. Damage share is much higher, 400 damage per minute. 6 champions in 13 games. That includes Belveth and Morgana. I believe Wukong was his most played. He did do very well on the Wukong. His value was coin flip. A couple games he did very well on it, and another couple games he did awful. But Morg and Belveth are kind of things that are interesting that we have to watch out for. I predicted the Belveth in the top JDG series, sarcastically, but also because I felt like he could pull it out. He might pull it out. Whether that's good or bad is another discussion. But he is capable of trying to do something like that, and that has to be respected. JDG are going to give him the opportunity to carry and succeed, and it's a matter of how the opposition wants to handle it, because I think in this tournament, the majority of junglers are going to end up behind Kanavi. If Kanavi wants to try and just play carry champions. You know, I'm trying to think right now, like, Tien's not really that type of player. Peanut's not that type of player. Owner could be. Inspired could be. Elyoya. But, you know, and it's two different kind of junglers. This is not to say that those junglers are better than Peanut or Tien or any of those. It's just two different kinds of junglers. You have carries and you have facilitators, and not many are trying to do both. They definitely cheat to one side, and that's for their team comp. Like, you look at Peanut. Peanut's very capable of carrying if he wants to, but he fits into the Gen G scheme of being a facilitator. Chovy and Ruler are going to carry. And if they're not carrying, you know, all of a sudden the team must be having a problem, right? So, 2020 Worlds, Kanavi was playing for JDG. Out in semis, they'd go 5-5 in that tournament. 1.92 KDA, 683 CS per minute, 67.9 KP. So the KP was a little below 70, but that's because he was farming at nearly 7 per minute, and that's the type of Kanavi that I'm talking about. He's going to, now he's at 5.4 because of the meta, but that's still, we were talking about a couple junglers over the last couple days around 4.9 CS per minute, right? So that's 1 CS every other minute that Kanavi's getting ahead on average. So on average, at 20 minutes, he's ahead 10 CS, and that's maybe not a ton, but that's on average, too, depending on what the matchup is. So, you know, 192 KDA died a bit a couple of years ago, but, you know, things might have changed for him and this team in general. Mid lane, Yagao was with Kanavi at that tournament. Now, Yagao was very good in the playoffs. I thought he was a big surprise, maybe the biggest surprise across all the teams in the playoffs. 3.9 KDA, 8.3 CS per minute, 67.9 KP. That's a pretty high KP, while also putting up 8.3 CS per minute. You'd like that to be around 8.5, but at the same time, I don't see Yagao as an elite mid laner. I really don't. I think he's more of a facilitator, one-dimensional, and can't really carry games. But in the playoffs, he showed that he could do that. There were a couple series where he took over the game, and it was against solid, respectable mid laners. So the point is, I think JDG may have opened up the door to have an opportunity to succeed in another way outside of having Kanavi carry or Hope carry. They may be able to get Yagao online and roll with that. 24.9 damage share, 624 damage per minute, 6 champions in 13 games. I mean, I thought he did very, very well. I really did. I thought he was, you know, he is like a better Niski almost in that way, I think. Better Jensen, better Bjerg, things like that, in that he can facilitate, but also do a little bit more carrying than those guys can do. In bot lane, you have Hope. Very good. Hope and Missing played a very, very good playoffs, continuing their success from regular split. 5.7 KDA, 9.6 CS per minute, 75.7 KP. Highest KP on the team was in bot lane. Bot lane was what was making a lot of things happen. All the 3 out of every 4 kills, Hope had his fingerprints on it, right? So that is a big deal. 9.6 CS per minute at the highest level, the LPL playoffs. I would say that that is more than appropriate. I think that he could get to 10 and higher against, the Western teams for sure. 31.8 damage share, nearly 800 damage per minute. I will say 4 champions in 13 games is kind of concerning, but I think teams are so worried about banning out Kanavi's champion pool and, key enchanters and things like that, that Hope was allowed to play pretty much Lucian, Sivir, and Zeri all he wanted. So that's good. However, the drawback is this bot lane has no international experience. And as we saw earlier today with Sandbox, spoiler, young players in big moments can crumble. So far, very good. They're proving that they can handle the moment. But when Worlds comes along, can they handle the moment? When they're facing, Ruler and Lehens, remains to be seen. Missing probably the support of the tournament in the LPL. I think I do have to really do some thinking on how I want to rank these supports going into the event. 9.4 KDA is so good. It might be the highest KDA we've, no. I think Showmaker might have had a higher one. Gen G's players probably had a higher one. But Missing 9.4 KDA in the playoffs is extremely high. He did not die a lot. He did not int. Where we have some players that are inting their faces off at support, Missing is not one of those. 81.6 KP, so 4 out of every 5 kills Missing partook in the kill. 4 champions in 13 games. A lot of, I think it was Lulu, Renata, and Nami. So that's a thing. No experience, like I said, at international events, which is a concern. But so far, so good with this bot lane. This bot lane is something to watch out for. I think this team, like I said, I have second. I think that it is entirely capable of winning the tournament. It is very aggressive. It is the most aggressive team in the tournament. It is going to punch you in the mouth if it has an opportunity to. It's been scrimming VCS teams for better or for worse. That is going to help them with their chaotic play style and to incubate that and get it better. But it did backfire on them when they were playing top. I mean, because top play a slow Python style, and top were able to take a couple games off JDG. Both times they played them, JDG coming out ahead in the end. But internationally, that's one of 2 ways it's going to go, right? Either they thrive in the chaos or the chaos bites them in the ass. So it's going to be one or the other. A lot of people are like, oh, well, one LPL team always struggles every Worlds. Well, the last 3 Worlds, the first seed has not been that team. So right now I have JDG second going into the tournament. We'll see how that, works itself out over the next week and a half and how I feel about, patches and whatever. But JDG are cracked, so... Comment down below if you have an opinion. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a member of the channel. And thank you for watching.